I have this big lag happening tonight. It's like it keeps flashing and I can't click buttons. But Emo, you are the spotlight person, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't actually click on your
It's okay.
intro.
Fine.
So I just know that your presence on stage, your voice is awesome. I just think that also that you are the greatest boss ever. And I'm so lucky to work for you and for M&O. And I know that's not part of it, but I might as well say it while I can. Thank you for having you tonight, Mr. Alaeddin.
Oh, well, I'm the second best boss. The first would probably be my lovely bride, Miss Melissa. So sweet of you, Lori. Thank you. We're lucky to have you. So I'm going to give a quick presentation with my 10 minutes. I'll share my screen. So I was born in Jordan, actually. I speak Arabic, and that is me. I was somewhat of a quiet child. I kind of stuck to myself when I was younger. In fact, I didn't have hair until I was 3 years old. And I didn't even cry when I popped out of my mom, apparently. I was just a very quiet, chilled out baby. Who would have thought? So, but I did have some issues, of course, all of us do, but mine was my stuttering. It was very difficult to hold a conversation. In fact, I became very outgoing. And so I would really try to speak, but I couldn't. So my stutter was quite obvious. A lot of stutterers, they're just very quiet. I would just let everybody know. But it was still a big, it held me back. So I always knew there was something for me. But, as time went on, I started to realize that when I sing, I wouldn't stutter. So I would become animated, and in a way I would almost sing while I would talk. And that helped remedy that. But through growing up, I never really grew up. I'm still a child at heart. Although I'm all business, you will find me, well, not anymore now that I'm a family guy, but I used to go to Disneyland on my own, and I would just go on rides by myself, very much enjoying my time by myself. But when it came to music, I love being in bands. So I had a band in Los Angeles when I moved from Jordan to Virginia for school. Right after that, I went to Los Angeles. There's my buddy Eric Kreff back there. He is a good friend of mine. We had a band called Third Wish because my last name is Alaeddin. And then we found a couple of extra guys. You can see my hair straightened over there. We're at the Rainbow Bar and Grill. It was a tough time, to be honest. When you're pursuing originals, it can be very deflating to the ego. And to be honest, I think I needed that. I think all of us could use an ego check. And so that's one of my biggest takeaways from being in this band of Out, that it doesn't matter how good you are as a musician. It really matters how you portray yourself and how you treat others. So it was a big learning experience. But at one point in 2011 or 2009, I decided to cut my losses and move back. It was great being in a rock band, but just as I'd started out, I decided to go solo. And that's where I really found myself again. It was a good soul-searching experiment to go back to Jordan with what I'd learned and start something new. The rock band I was in was very hard rock, and I loved it. But when I switched over to this acoustic type of pop, doors started to open, and it took a bold move to do that. But one of the things that helped this was back in these days, I helped a friend. I submitted a videotape. He was a good singer. He was a roommate of mine, and I submitted a videotape for him. And he actually ended up getting second place on Kiss FM's, similar to American Idol back in the day. And so he shot up into his own level of stardom, but stardom nonetheless. I mean, he's doing very well for himself, but he never really played it back. And probably because of our sound, it didn't match what he did. So, but one day when I released this album, I finally got the call, and he invited me to join him on tour. And this is a picture from that actual tour. He would go out to England and Germany, and he would perform just him on his acoustic. And he told me, hey, I can finally repay you. And so it was thanks to him I was able to get some doors open in Europe. And I finally realized that, hey, there can actually be a business in the pursuit of music, especially with originals, which was very difficult, but you need to open doors. So this is a picture of me in China. It was a lot of fun. I decided to, on this album, somebody had reached out to me randomly saying, hey, I'm coming to Jordan and I would like to perform. Could you help me? I said, I have a better idea. Why don't I have you on my album? I love giving. That is what I do. And so I had him on the album. His name was Corey. He happened to be living in China and he invited me to China. And that's how I got this opportunity. And I kept utilizing all these successes to kind of get some opportunities. One of which was the opportunity to be on HGTV, which was a lot of fun. I was in, what was it called? International House Hunters, where they documented my travel from the States to Jordan. But a couple of other great things too was I was able to win the Rolling Stone Street to Stage. It was a regional contest in the Middle East, and we were the only non-Dubai band. And so I was very happy, fortunate to get the top win for that. As far as building my business as a musician, I used to screen print my own t-shirts. You can see Bunny in the background there. She's still around. She's in Oklahoma now with her new family, sweetheart. But I would do everything on my own. I produced my own records even. I would record at home and learn the craft. And I was able to be the first, and till this day, only Jordanian to be on the cover of Human magazine. And a lot of it was because of my charity work that I did for an organization that I started called Bring Change, where everybody would bring their pocket change to the concert and we just collect it all and donate it to building schools in Palestine. This was my big one. I sent in one of my music videos and I was able to get on MTV. You can see the A-list playlist. That was a big hoot to see me on there. It was quite surreal. And they had me on heavy rotation for about 6 months. So it was good, but I did decide ultimately to move back in 2014. Again, I wanted to rediscover myself too. So it was a very fresh opportunity to come out here. My family moved out with me as well, which is very, very important to me. And I found this new sound, which is this angelic rock opera, which combined Arabic music with English, or Arabic lyrics and melodies with English. And so this was my first album that I put out in 2018, I think. Yeah, 2018. And all originals, of course, all my production, mix and master, all my instrumentation, my vocals. And the only thing I had tracked or outsourced was the drums, because I don't play the drums. But through developing this, I came up with the concept of MNO, which has opened a lot of doors for me, a lot of doors. And I enjoyed a lot of success with my follow-up album, having my members share my links. But I decided to approach my marketing in a different way. My originals are always important. I still write, but I ventured off into filling the shoes of Freddie Mercury, and I launched the Kings of Queen. It is my band. I've got an incredible 5-piece band. We travel the country, as I'd mentioned. We're going to be in St. George in a couple of days, and we'll be in Nashville. We just booked Sacramento again. But I just wanted to show you guys I mean, it's one thing to look like the guy, right? But you really, it does take a lot of work. And it took all those years putting out albums, those performances, getting in touch with your instrument in order to really embody someone like this guy. I mean, may he rest in peace, but my Lord, I mean, it took a lot of work to match his tones. With the Nashville shows coming up, this is our second time out there, and it's thanks to MNO and the chapter for getting me to Nashville the first time, sharing my links out there. Erica got me the gig, but it was Bill and Leland and all the other members who shared my links there. I was able to not only get out there, but to sell out. So with about a minute left, show you a couple of other comments that were made. This is by a fellow musician. I kind of mentioned it in my promo, like, hey, why not share music? Because as musicians, it's kind of tough to win the hearts of your fellow musicians. But this guy, I remember him clearly because he came up to me and he said he's in a band. But what speaks volumes is when the venue itself writes this. We played at Goldfield a few weeks ago, and their comment on the bottom there really, I mean, that's what it's all about. When you're able to really make an impact. But there's something else that makes this whole journey worthwhile. And that's what I discovered in 2022. And that is this darling right over here. She is the light of my life. She makes me laugh. She encourages me. I'm very strong, but when I think about the years that we're going to spend together, it really warms my heart and it makes me very excited. And she comes with a package, which is a beautiful package. That is Michaela on the left. She's 13. I got Gisela over there. She's 11. And I've got the 8-year-old down there, and that is Ariella. And I'm very lucky to have them. And it's great to be a stepdad. And with that, I thank you all for your time. And I pass it back to our MC, Mr. Bill Hatch.